My dear, I whispered a secret to the world, but only you heard it, and now it's ours. The truth was a storm inside me, and I let it rain on my family's hearts. Secrets once hidden have a way of tearing us open, painful but necessary for healing. Holding a secret too long feels like holding my breath. Now I can finally exhale. There's power in honesty, but also in the raw vulnerability of confession. When I finally spoke my truth, I felt like ice had been living in a mask. The silence before my confession was louder than any words I've ever said. Unspoken truths are like shadows, always lurking, never resting. The secret I kept was a weight, and now, with its release, I am free. I carried my secret like a heavy stone, but telling it was the moment it became a memory. A secret shared with those we love is not just revealed, it is transformed. Confessing my secret was like letting go of an anchor I didn't even know I was dragging. Sometimes, the hardest person to confess to is yourself. But once you do, you're unstoppable. My family's shock was the sound of me finally being real. In every confession, there's a little piece of freedom waiting to break through. The weight of my secret was lifted the moment I let the truth fall from my lips. I finally said what I should have years ago, and the air feels different now. With every truth I confessed, a small piece of my fear melted away. The secret I kept didn't make me strong. Letting it go did. My heart was a vault for so long, but truth has a way of escaping, no matter how locked. That moment when I said it aloud, everything shifted, and so did I. Keeping secrets only distances you from the people you love, and I'm done running. The confession wasn't just about the truth, it was about reclaiming who I truly am. Telling my truth wasn't easy, but it was necessary for me to heal. The weight of my secret finally released, and for the first time in forever, I felt light. With every word I spoke, I felt the chains of my secret break away. I've been quiet for so long, but the truth now echoes in the space between us. The secret I held was a mask, but now my face is bare. Telling my family was like setting the bird of my truth free into the sky. I didn't realize how much a lie could drain me until I finally spoke the truth. Secrets don't stay buried. They only fester until you let them breathe. In confessing, I realized the truth was never as scary as the fear of not saying it. The burden of a secret disappears the moment you stop carrying it alone. I confessed, and my heart beat louder in the quiet that followed. My truth was a gift I had been hiding, afraid of the reactions I might face. The truth I confessed felt like sunshine after a long, stormy night. My secret was a silent weight. Telling it was the first breath I could finally take. Speaking my truth was the beginning of a new chapter for us all. I didn't know how much I needed to confess until the words escaped me. The truth came out like a river breaking free, no longer confined by the dam of silence. Confessing my secret wasn't just letting go of the past, it was creating space for a future. I never knew how heavy my secret was until it no longer lived in the shadows. The truth I hid for years finally found its way to light, and it changed everything. The moment I confessed, I could feel the walls around me start to crumble. The power of confession lies not in the shock, but in the relief that follows. I told the secret I had been carrying for years, and I suddenly felt whole again. Each word of my confession was like peeling back a layer of who I had been pretending to be. There is courage in admitting our truths, even when we fear the consequences. Confessing my secret didn't change the past, but it freed me from its chains. My family's silence after my confession was deafening, but my heart found peace. I had kept my secret locked away for too long, and now it was free to soar. My secret wasn't just mine, it was a burden I shared with everyone who loved me. I confessed, and in that moment, I felt like I was born anew. The act of confession was the exhale my soul needed after holding its breath for too long. I carried a secret that weighed me down, but now I'm lighter, freer, and stronger. The fear of telling was greater than the fear of living with the secret. A confession is not just about truth, it's about reclaiming your power. The moment I let the secret out, I felt the world shift beneath my feet. Silence can be a prison, but truth is the key that sets you free. In confessing, I discovered that honesty is the most sacred form of love. The relief of confession isn't in the release of the secret, but in the freedom of honesty. I finally told them, and in doing so, I set myself free from the prison of my own making. It took years to speak my truth, but I will never regret finally saying it aloud. Confessing my secret was like shedding old skin. It was painful, but it made me whole. I thought my family's judgment would destroy me, but instead, it helped me rebuild. A confession doesn't just change the people who hear it, it transforms the person who speaks it. The secret I carried no longer has a hold on me. Once I spoke it, it was gone. My heart was heavy with secrets, but my words lifted the weight and set me free. Telling my truth wasn't about seeking forgiveness. It was about finding my own peace. The truth I told was a revelation, but the peace I felt after was the real gift. Confessing to my family was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the most freeing. The secret I held was a shadow, and the light of my confession finally chased it away. I had been drowning in silence, but the moment I spoke, the world felt lighter. Secrets break us when we hold them, but telling the truth heals the soul. My confession was a wound that needed to be exposed to heal. The secret I held made me sick, but telling it made me whole again. Every word of my confession was a step toward the peace I've been seeking for years. I told my truth, and for the first time, I didn't feel like I was hiding anymore. My secret was a burden until I shared it, and now I can breathe. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. I didn't realize how much weight I had been carrying until the truth left my lips. The secret I kept was a prison I built for myself. Now I'm free. Confession is the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. The truth I confessed was a door I never thought I could open until now. The shame of my secret was heavier than I knew until it was released into the air. My confession was a prayer, a cry for understanding, and a plea for peace. The weight of a secret is unbearable until you let it go and breathe again. My confession wasn't about regret. It was about healing what had been broken inside me. I feared the consequences of my confession, but I never feared the truth itself. There's no freedom in secrets, only in the courage to speak your truth. A secret kept is a silent scream waiting to be heard. Once spoken, it's quieted forever. I thought confessing would destroy me, but it was the only way to rebuild. Telling my truth wasn't about anyone else. It was about finally being honest with myself. I confessed, and in that moment, I realized how much I had been hiding from myself. The truth wasn't as scary as the prison I built to hold it. My family's judgment didn't break me. It was my own silence that did. Confessing my secret wasn't just about honesty. It was about embracing who I really am. The moment I told the truth, it felt like a weight lifted off my soul. The secret I kept was a shadow over my life, and now the sun is shining again. Confession is the only way to heal a soul that has been torn by silence. The truth that I feared to speak has now set me free, like wings breaking through the dark. When I finally confessed, the silence between us became a bridge, not a wall. Secrets carry the burden of time, but truth carries the weight of freedom. Confession isn't about what you say, it's about what you release. The moment I let my secret go, I felt like I had been holding my breath for years. My confession wasn't the end. It was the beginning of understanding. Every word of truth I spoke took me one step closer to peace. The truth I held in darkness is now dancing in the light, and it feels so much lighter. I finally confessed, and I found the strength I didn't know I had inside me. Truth, once spoken, doesn't bind us, it liberates us. My confession wasn't about forgiveness, it was about reclaiming my own voice. In confessing my secret, I realized the silence had been suffocating me all along. The fear of judgment was heavy, but the freedom in telling it was worth the risk. The truth I carried wasn't a burden, it was a lesson waiting to be learned. Telling my secret wasn't about seeking approval, it was about finding my own self acceptance. Every confession I make unchains a part of me that I had kept locked away. Secrets are like ghosts, harmless when exposed, but haunting when hidden. I feared what would happen when I confessed, but the release was the greatest peace I've ever known. My confession wasn't a tear, it was a healing flood. Saying the truth out loud was like breathing for the first time in years. I feared the reaction to my confession, but the peace I found was far greater than I imagined. Every secret is a door we close until we find the courage to open it. Confession isn't about making things right. It's about letting go of what was never ours to carry. The weight of a secret disappears when you finally allow yourself to speak the truth. Truth, once spoken, never needs to be hidden again. It lives in freedom.